With President Donald Trump threatening to slap tariffs on Mexican imports a week from today, Governor Doug Ducey isn't backing down from his support for the president, even though economists say Arizona consumers would be hit hard.
The governor talking about tariffs for the first time today. Team 12 political insider Bram Resnick was there.
Yeah, the president's tariffs would likely get passed on to consumers. The estimated cost, a $65 tax on every person in Arizona. That price tag escalating if the tariffs go up. But the governor brushed off the cost to Arizonans. Doug Ducey is the only one of the four western border governors, including fellow Republican Greg Abbott of Texas, who supports the president's tariff threat. The White House claims the tariffs would force Mexico to clamp down on Central American migrants crossing its border and then our southwestern border. Those numbers hitting a 10-year high under Donald Trump. But the governor says those tariffs are a price we have to pay for border security.
What's the point of it? What's the point of Arizonans paying a tax to fix that?
Bram, you're trying to steer this into a place where you're going to pit me against national security. This is a national issue. Arizona is a border state, and that's what I'm going to advocate for.
The U.S. Chamber says we could be one of the states hit hardest by these tariffs.
Well, the U.S. Chamber is going to prioritize commerce. That's why they're called the Chamber of Commerce. The Arizona governor is going to prioritize public safety. You can do both.
Immigration experts say it's likely the tariffs might increase migrant flows if Mexico's economy suffers. And the president has threatened to levy a 5% tariff on Mexico imports a week from today, rising to 25% by October if the Mexican government doesn't respond in a satisfactory way. Live in the Alert Center, Bram Resnick, 12 News.